Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Insurance Journal's Academy of Insurance's weekly webinar Aftershow. I'm your host, George, and joining for the Aftershow is the Director of the Academy of Insurance, Patrick Great, and today's instructors. Today's instructors, there are two of them, the handoff protecting cargo through the chain of custody with today's class, and Jerry Jacobs and Ladda Hawkins are our instructors, or were instructors, and still will be the instructors as long as this class is on demand. Everybody, thanks for coming to the Aftershow. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Thanks. And I got a chance to say hello to Jerry before the after show, and I understood you haven't done this very much together, but it really seemed like you do it a lot together. But I know you're kind of new at this teaching in tandem thing. What made you come together as a team? And the chemistry is amazing. The academic chemistry is fantastic.
Awesome, thank you. We had the opportunity. How long ago was it now? Like last summer, was it? Or was
yeah,
it summer?
It's been a minute now.
Yeah, so I really liked the handoff concept and having it, be very literal in that way. And so just said, hey, let's just go for it. And I'm glad it went over well.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So we've had you before, Ladda, for a class, and Jerry, this is your first time with the Academy. What kind of groups do you normally teach in, or are you new to the instructing people, maybe insurance instructor in particular, but do you do instruction where you at your company and stuff?
Yeah. So I'm also I didn't mention this during the actual presentation, but I also sit on two transportation boards. I sit on the Transportation Intermediaries Association board of directors, and then I also sit on the Transportation Logistics Council board. I actually am their director of marketing and outreach, and that organization, Transportation Logistics Council, is completely an educational organization that looks to help folks, especially on the risk management side of things, but if from insurance companies, transportation lawyers, shippers, brokers, trucking companies alike, to really educate them on the risk management side of the transportation business and understanding the legal side of things. So I've actually been doing a ton of speaking engagements over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years. I typically speak to not only industry like folks in similar fields, but also to private sector. The public sector, law enforcement, and then I also participate as a part of the TIA with a yearly DC fly-in to talk about certain policies and certain laws that affect the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, and how these particular laws may benefit or hurt, our industry as a whole. So I will literally talk to congressmen as well about and teach them on, the industry and the risk management side and the perils that we face as an industry. So I have a ton of experience talking to folks.
Absolutely. It shines through.
Thanks.
So you know a lot about transportation and trucking risk and shipment risk, and I'm believing that your talks are very multifaceted. But in terms of today's class, cargo shipments, did the need or arise out of, say, like supply chain problems that started during COVID to teach more classes about this topic? Do people just come up to you at your events and seminars and go, hey, well, what about the cargo shipment risk classes? Like, we need more of that. Like, what to the two of you made you want to become so very well versed in this topic and share it with? Are there gaps in educating agents and people about this topic, or is that what kind of part of the impetus?
I would say it seems like you're on one side or the other. To where there's not a lot of opportunities, and sometimes even that self-projected. Maybe people aren't as confident in kind of how their impact can, go across those lines. But I think there should be more of it personally. And so I just had the experience of, again, clients, through a retail agency, not they were relying on me to tell them what to do. And I'm like, I can't tell you what to do. You tell me what to do. Tell me what you're doing. And it became that. So I sought resources out, nonprofit, other educational venues, just even talking to people like, how'd you learn this? And they're like, oh, so-and-so told me, or I even watch YouTube University type thing. And it was just like, well, there must be something more concrete. And so, if you don't find it, you make it. Mm-hmm. That's where I seen it.
Yeah.
I would. How about you?
Yeah, I was going to say, so what I found is, from my experience, is when it comes to kind of insurance, risk management, compliance, and the perils that folks face in the supply chain, that it's constantly evolving, and it's never the same perils that we worried about 5 to 10 years ago aren't the same perils that we have to worry about today. So a lot of it is folks that are new to the industry that are seeking education or seeking more knowledge, but also there's a lot of folks in the industry that need re-education on the evolving trends that we're seeing in the supply chain. There's changes in regards to government regulations that come out. And then when we see these government regulations come out, it's like, okay, now we have to adjust as an industry. Okay, what are you guys doing about this government regulation? Okay, what are you guys doing? How are you guys prepping for it? So what we're seeing is, it's that coupled with new emerging risks, I would say risk vectors that's out there that we constantly have to re-educate folks on. And make sure that folks are aware. And it's really important to just have the conversation. Like Ladda alluded to, there's been a really big problem in our industry about communicating about the problems that we face in our industry, because folks don't want to talk about losses, because then they don't want their clients to hear them talking about losses and make them seem like, oh, well, they're too much of a risk to do business with. I don't want to give them a shipment or something like that. But that's the problem. And that's what we have to correct, is really engaging with every single party of that of a shipment transaction, including the insurance company and the insurance industry, including the lawyers and the transportation lawyers that kind of help navigate their clients and understand their risk management, and bringing all those parties together, the shipper, the broker, the trucking company, the loaders, and really saying, okay, what can we all do together collectively to really look at what perils that are out there and mitigate those risks in that supply chain. And it makes a more sound and safer supply chain, for everyone. So it's really all about, having networking, having those connections, and re-educating and seeking knowledge, and seeking that re-education is also important too.
Absolutely. Well put, extremely well put. Thank you, sir. To go along with our transportation themed class today, our director of education, Patrick Gray, is actually in a vehicle. And I don't know if he has cargo in the vehicle or what, but Patrick, welcome to the After Show. Thanks for pulling over and being safe and joining us. What did you think of today's class in particular, and the topic of cargo shipment risk in general?
Yeah, thanks, George. And yeah, in the spirit of transportation risk, I'm sitting in a parking lot. The most risky piece of this is that I'm in Gainesville, Florida. So anyway, and just enjoyed this entire conversation, because the complexity of transportation risk is, as Ladda had alluded to during the session, was it's more than just what the liability exposures are, right? I mean, because not only do you have motor carriers who are, we're talking about big trucks, right? Traveling up and down highways, interstates, and even here in the United States, they can cross over into Canada or even potentially into Mexico. And those risks are complex by themselves. But when you add to it the idea that you could be intermodal, you could be loading trailers from shipping containers off of ships that have arrived from another continent, driving them to another place, and then loading those same containers onto trains and then back onto trucks and things like that. So the whole supply chain piece, not only from a liability standpoint, but from tracking and maintaining control over the cargo itself is such a huge and complex risk that I'm just grateful that we were able to have the conversation today and really introduce folks to some of this very interesting piece of the risk management world that I don't think we've got much content with the Academy.
So thank you both. What do you think of the unique nature of the material is amazing itself, but do you agree with what Patrick said about the need for this kind of course?
Absolutely, because even in this age of, consumerism, and people are looking for where their package is and having the expectation of 2 days or less, and not even having consideration for how things work, and it's just like, okay, so you're expecting it to come from China by tomorrow, and you're in Iowa. Good luck with that, And so I'm really intrigued too with how youth, as we always look to the young people and getting into the industry and keeping the industry vibrant, just how they have such a good understanding. I did a summer camp, and a lot of the teenagers really knew where things came from. And I was actually pretty shocked. And they were even saying that, they found some of this content on YouTube and was able to see how shoes were made, and was just like, I didn't know, that rubber comes from, Africa and different things like that. I'm like, oh, wow. But you just explained it to me. So I think it makes us better because we can have real world application to it. It's not just something that certain people do for their job. The supply chain links us all together in our needs.
Yeah. I always like to tell folks when they ask me, like, what do you do? I always like to tell folks, take a 360 of whatever room that you're in. Whatever you see with your eyes has moved on a truck. And that's true wherever you go. Like, everything that you see has moved on a truck. So it's a very important aspect of our economy. And understanding the nuances is very important for like you said, not only just the folks that's within the supply chain, but the end consumer to really have a great understanding of how that supply chain works. If we talk about food product, I think food product is great. Is vastly important to really understand, hey, the chain of custody and understanding that I'm going to be consuming something that's coming from overseas, that has been transported safely, transported in clean conditions, transported at the right temperature, and it's not, and when it gets to the end consumer, I'm going to be able to ingest that, and it's not going to be any harm to my body. That's really, really important. There's a lot that goes into that every party that's a part of that shipment movement and that shipment transaction takes place to ensure that that's arriving safely and soundly and securely. And knowing all the risk that's associated with moving that type of product and commodity is very important to everybody within that shipment movement, especially the end consumer.
I'll ask you, because being in Gainesville always has a weird effect on Patrick. He's a little shyer when he's there. So in the spirit of how amazing you did and how grateful we are for your knowledge and insights, Jerry, Ladda, would you consider coming back next year? I'll just ask in front of Patrick. Maybe we could do like a transportation risk panel.
That would be nice.
What do you think?
Okay.
I'll just ask you right here. I may get, I may get read my riot act later by Patrick, but what do you think? Can we have you back sometime next year to, keep on talking about this timely topic?
Absolutely. I'm in. And Jerry?
Yeah, I'm always available. Yeah, I love that. I went to school to be an educator, so education aspect is something that I'm very passionate about. So always love to educate folks. So definitely available.
Wonderful.
That's funny. Fun fact, our birthdays are a day apart, years in a day, but
I want to ask
a day apart.
who's earlier, but
well,
that is a fun fact. Thank you.
His is November 6th and mine was November 7th.
Just passed.
Happy birthday
this past
to you
week.
both. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Patrick, thanks for pulling over and spending some time at the after show. Really always appreciate you being here and having you around. Really appreciate it. Jerry Jacobs, Ladda Hawkins, thank you both for your time today. Again, the course was The Handoff, Protecting Cargo Through the Chain of Custody. If you aren't a member of the Academy, join it so you can see this amazing course. If you are a member of the Academy, it'll be configurable for on-demand tomorrow. So on behalf of our instructors, Jerry and Ladda, and our director, Patrick Great, this is your host, George, saying thanks, everyone, for coming to the After Show. Patrick, get on your way, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.